Beautiful.
And here we go. Welcome to Parent Support for Google Classroom this Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock. We are recording the session so that people who couldn't make it can watch it later. I am Andrew Yockler. I am the Technology Integration Specialist for the high school level. I work across all 3 high school buildings, although we're all combined this year in the virtual sense, but I have a chance to work with all high schoolers and high school teachers in Schenectady. And I will allow my co-presenters the microphone to introduce themselves.
Okay, yep. Okay, hi, I'm Oriana. I teach 10th grade English with
me, Jessica Marley. I also teach 10th grade English.
Alrighty, so it's good to have a couple English teachers along for the ride. They have an awesome time teaching their classes, and it's fun because while the virtual world is not what any of us was anticipating for sure last Christmas time, it is here, and it is here for the year for us. So we are making it work, and I just have to compliment these 2 ladies. They do such a great job of making it fun for their students every day, irregardless of the fact that they're on a webcam and they can't see their kids in person. So we are happy to be here today. Oh, of course, you deserve it. Just a couple quick things about Google Meets. And what I'm going to do is actually present my screen for just a moment so that I can roll over some things. In Google Meets, down at the bottom of the screen, there are a number of tools. Some of them are teacher tools like the shield, but there's the mute button right here. When you click that, it turns off your microphone. And then, of course, I have to turn it back on, but you'll notice in the grid that there's a little blue bar that moves around when I'm talking. Right now, Jessica and Oriana have muted bars, so they can talk, but it's not going to hear them in the Meet. The other thing here is the webcam, and I'll turn my webcam off for a second. My little avatar pops up. That can be helpful if you're having a laggy internet connection. I know a lot of folks have been dealing with that. So if your student is having some lag or they're having trouble seeing something, one of the fixes for it in the short term is to try to turn your camera off. So that's that. There are captions, and the captions are really great because if your child is having trouble sort of keeping track audioly of everything, let's see here, you can actually read the screen and see what's happening. And sometimes teachers are doing this too to keep track of who's talking because it will say who's taking turns in the conversation through that closed caption. There is a presentation mode that the teachers might very well have your kids do, but that's the basic overview of those tools. The reality is, sorry, I'm looking at 2 things at once. The reality is the kids have gotten pretty good pretty quickly with Google Meets. I know a lot of folks have been Zooming with family and things like that. We use Google Meets because they work with our apps accounts here in Schenectady. And let's see here. I was going to quickly just talk about those apps accounts. I'm going to go out to an open Google screen for just a moment here. When your student is logged in to a Chromebook or a Chrome browser on a different machine, even Apple, you can download Chrome browsers. And we do recommend using Chrome because that gets you to all the tools that we have. You will see that the student is logged in. It should show you on a regular Google screen 2 different spots. It might not on a Chromebook, but what you can do is click on one of those avatars and it will tell you if you are logged into your apps account. That's essential for Google Classroom because if you're not in your apps account, you can't access Google Classroom and it won't work for you. And we've had some students who just accidentally had logged into a personal account to check something and had never logged out of the personal account. And so Google thought they were trying to log into our classroom with a personal account and they weren't allowed in. You'll also want to double check that sync is turned on. If sync isn't turned on, we can't send updates to the student's account. So those are just a couple quick things about the apps accounts themselves. And those apps accounts do come with a Gmail. Your student just has to click on Gmail and it will bring them to their email that potentially the school district has sent them or their teachers so that they can be in communication with everyone. And with that said, I'm going to kick it over to Jessica and I'm going to get rid of my webcam and presentation. And Jessica is going to show us a little bit about Google Classroom.
Hello, I'm Jessica again. So I'm going to present and show you what it looks like from the student view in a classroom that Mr. Yockler created. And I enjoy being able to do this because the way that I post things in my classroom and the way that I'm able to see what I've posted is not the way that students see them. So let us go into this. So this is the classroom that Mr. Yockler created for us to use. When you log in, this top ban here is going to be the easiest way to navigate through the classroom. So this is where your Google Meet link is. If your student has a link, say period 2, they have to get into their English class. They're going to come over to this space here, click this, and it will take them right into their Meet. Pretty user-friendly. Yeah, pretty user-friendly. If there's an error with them getting in, perhaps it's because that class doesn't meet at that time. I know I've had students say that they can't get in, and it's usually because they've already missed class or they were trying to get in a little bit too early before I got there. So our stream, this is where everything is posted. Everything gets published on the stream. If they need to find a specific assignment, they go over to Classroom. And most teachers have topics. So this is research project, CAD printing project, brush up work. Say I need to go back into July 20th through 24th. Here is everything I need to do. So the way like my classroom is broken up by topics is attendance, general information, and then the weeks, just like this is down here. So that's going to be the easiest way to find the classwork they have to do. So I'm going to click on, what should I click on? Where does this land? Here's the assignment. I can click view assignment. Here is where I find the assignment. When I go into it, when I click it, it will take a really long time to load. That's what computers do. La la la, here is where I sing for you. Okay, we might not
That was
get there.
really nice.
That one's just a Google form anyway. So
Okay.
yeah,
So
they just fill out the form. Yep.
So say that worked for me and we pulled up the form. Always make sure that the student comes over here and hits mark as done. Sometimes, right, I would fill this out, I would hit submit, great, but always make sure they come over and hit mark as done. That might be why someone is not seeing that their assignment has been handed in. So you just hit mark as done. Mark is done. It sends it directly to the teacher. They get a notification that the student has submitted their work. And let me check this real quick. Finding Meet code, stream and classroom. I'm all done. I'm going to stop presenting now, and I'm going to turn it over to my pal, Oriana.
Oh, hey. So basically, just like Jess was saying, when you're getting your work, she kind of went over that. I would just add depending on the assignment. Sometimes they want you to say maybe create something, right? If they're doing, oh, see right here, it says, please attach the document right here. Sometimes the document will be here so that they can just fill it in right there, or students can add documents here. So they can add a Google Doc, a slide sheet, ooh, a drawing, that's fancy. Or they can upload like a file or a Google Drive right there. And see how it says add your resume and transcript to the assignment. So again, sometimes it will be in here, but then you can just add right here. And then again, you'll just mark it as done. And then something that's really easy. Sorry, I have so many classrooms. What if? There we go. So I'm a student and I'm like, I have so many classrooms. Which basically you just go all the way back to classes. So again, like right here is classes, right? So from students, you just go to classes and you see all of your Google classes that you're enrolled in. Something easy to see is like your calendar, and that will tell you like when there's an assignment that's due, because all of your assignments have due dates. So right here, oh, I had an assignment, said get to know me, and that was due on September 16th. Even though I was a teacher and I assigned it, it still, was due, and for them it would show up on their calendar like that.
And also, if you scroll all the way down, Oriana, to where the what if appears. Oh, there's the to-do list. It's right at the top too.
Oh, sorry. I was
That's
just about to. My bad.
No problem.
I missed it. Sorry.
Go all the way back out to the main page of Google Classroom.
There it is.
And the to-do list. Perfect.
Thank you. So if students are, again, so just to take you through what Mr. Yockler was kind enough to remind me, you go out and then you see right here is a to-do list. When you click on that to-do, so again, that sidebar and then to do, you'll see everything that you're assigned, right? And then not just assigned, but then if say you didn't turn, it will say, oh, you missed this. See, I missed September 4th. Uh-oh. And this was May 22nd. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. And then you'll have that you already finished. Anything. Yay. So again, the to-do list shows you things that you're assigned to do, things that are missing, and things that are done. And again, if you're a guardian or caretaker helping with your student, you can show these things and check to see what your student's missing and what's done. And the only thing that I would mention is that when the student hands something in and it says done, just make sure when it's returned, you can also see that sometimes teachers will make comments on it. Let me see if I can find an example. So in here, when we'll put in I know I just stopped in the middle of a sentence, but when we'll put in
did you want to turn one in my classroom so that I can just show how to do that response sort of live?
Great.
Cool.
What should I do, Jess? So much
Go
work.
to July 20 to 24 and click on research topic.
Okay.
Just type something in there and you can add something to there. Oh, that's not I'm sorry, I sent you to the wrong spot. I thought I was sending you to.
That's okay. Oh, hold on. I think I see it. Essay prompt.
Yes.
Insert topic here. My research topic, I want to make it about Jazz, what should it be about? Okay.
How to get a book published.
I don't like you. How fiction is more truthful than non-fiction. And I'm gonna turn it in. Okay, yeah, okay, I get it. It's me. Wow. Yes, turn it in.
This is what it actually sounds like when the student is doing it as well.
Okay, turned it in. It is now for you, Mr. Yockler.
So in my mode, now this is the part that students never really get to see, but I will show you the teacher side of things. So what the teacher sees in that same project is that 2 have been turned in, and here is Oriana's work. And then as a teacher, I am able to come back in here and add a comment. Let's see here. So I can go back out into the comments mode, and I can add a comment at this point and say, great idea. Let me know if you need any help. And then I might say, cite at least one web resource. I might give a comment to the student and say, let me know what you're thinking. when I return this, I'm going to not grade it yet because it's not done. I'm going to return it. And this happens a lot in classes where there are students who are working on long-term projects. So now you'll see that one was turned in and one is assigned back out. And I'm going to send it back to Oriana again to show you what it looks like now on her side.
Yeah, and I just got a notification on my phone. Oh, it's funny. Sorry. Okay, so let me go find my, oh, there it is. Research topic, research topic. And there it is. Need to cite at least one more web resource. Oh, man. Gee willikers. And so then I would go and I'd go and do and add a resource, and I'd turn it back in when I was trying to show more or add more. Or and the great thing is that, you know, students can turn it in multiple times until, you know, they get the grade that they want.
Absolutely. So now if Oriana, if you could pull your presentation back, I'm just going to have Jess show the lead screen of Google Classroom when you haven't yet gotten into the classroom, what the invite would look like.
Got it. Okay, so I'm gonna go back into my classroom tab. Should I show like going there from my Gmail?
Either from Gmail or right from Google. Yep, it would work.
Okay. Here is like my Gmail account. Don't mind all of my unread messages. So to go into your classroom, this is the fastest way for me as a teacher because I always check my emails first anyway. So you go up to those little 9 squares and I pop right into classroom that way. But that's more about how I organize my thoughts and everything. So like Oriana, I have all of these beautiful classrooms in here. And oh, I have an invitation for Mr. Yakla's What If Classroom. I'm gonna go ahead and hit join. Yay, now I'm part of the classroom. I'm in now. And again, here's the Meet code if anyone needs to get into a Meet.
Wonderful. All right, so now I'm just going to show a couple quick things about parent summaries, and then we will be able to wrap up. So here comes my screen. So one of the cool parts about Classroom, and again, you can get to it from the little app switcher. Some people call it the waffle because it looks like a waffle. I guess those are the hungry people. In Classroom, as a teacher in my classroom here, I can, in my People tab, invite guardians. So one of the interesting things about the way Google Classroom works is that I can't, a parent can't just latch into their students' things. And I think Google does that a little bit just for the privacy of children and to make sure that anybody at random cannot simply get in. So what would happen is, and I just talked about this with the head of guidance on Friday, so this is definitely the way it's set up. Each guidance counselor is sort of not just responsible for the child and their schedules and all that, but also has their own Google Classroom. So if you email your guidance counselor and say, we'd like to join in and get updates on Google Classroom, then the teacher will receive an email. I'll pretend I just got one for Oriana, and I would click on invite guardians and type in whatever the email address is for the parent. And what that will do is actually lock the parent into the student, not just for the one class, but across all the classes that the student is enrolled in. And then this is just a simple Google Help page, you will get email summaries for guardians from class. And that will include missing work, upcoming work, and any class activities that the teacher has posted. And one of the cool things is once you get that email sent to you from the teacher, you just have to accept. You have 120 days to accept it. So it's not like you have to accept it within 24 hours. But when you go into your email, you should find an email that says, you know, do you accept this invite to be a guardian in this classroom? And you can at that point, if it's not your child, say I'm not the guardian, but then you accept. And what's nice is that you can then get email summaries. And those email summaries basically look like this. And I'll zoom in just a little bit so that people can see. This is a fake one on the Google site. So it would say, this is the missing work from last week. Now, the student can also access this, as Oriana was showing us, in the to-do list and in the calendar. But this, as a parent, is a way for you to just very quickly double check. Oh, in U.S. history, you had something that was due back on July 26th. You need to go in and work on that if you're trying to help your child sort of manage the calendar and things like that. It will also show you the things that are upcoming due. So next week, there is something in U.S. history, and 4 days later is the marine biology project that is due. So a really nice part of all this is that you can choose either weekly or daily summaries, or you can choose no summaries at all. You just want to be a part of the class and receive any emails that the teacher might send. Because one of the things I can do as a teacher right from Google Classroom is I can email all the guardians. Once I have them, I can email all the guardians something about an upcoming test or something like that. So it's all to preference. You can choose whether you want weekly or daily, and all you do is wait for your first email to come in that looks like this, and at the bottom of the email is the way that you would choose settings and decide how often you want to receive the summary. Some parents want it each week. They want to know what happened during the week. And some parents, for whatever reason, might need it on a more consistent basis each day, just to keep track of the fact, especially in this virtual world where the teachers aren't seeing students face to face, keeping track of how much is getting done and if anything's falling behind, which we don't hope for, but unfortunately sometimes happens. And the other place you might get emails is from Infinite Campus. I just wanted to speak briefly about Infinite Campus because some students have been curious about, how do I get to my schedule? How do I do these things? So to get to Infinite Campus, actually students and parents both do it through the Parents tab on the Schenectady School District homepage. And all you have to do is find the parent portal and click Login to Parent Portal. At this point, the student would go off in the student direction and you as the parent would go off in the parent direction. But if your child's saying they don't know their password, they need their password reset, the good news is you don't need to contact the school. All the student needs to do is come to this page, click on Student, and then click Forgot Password right under the Login button. At this point, it will ask them what their username is. Now, the username in Schenectady is a student number. So I'm going to make one up and I'm not going to submit it in case that's an actual number. You would just type in your student number, click Submit, and then it's going to send an email password link request, just like any website in the quote unquote real world will send you a password reset link. So they'll see a link in their school Gmail. They'll be able to reset their password there and then log into Infinite Campus. And if they're having any trouble with that, they can certainly reach out to their teacher, their guidance counselor, or me. I'm available for these sort of student problems as things happen during the year, things pop up. And with that said, I will ask the ladies if they think there's anything else that we should present.
I don't think so. I'm just trying to think of questions the students ask. Did you get my work? Yeah, no.
Sounds good. So that should be a nice, helpful primer on how to get into Google Classroom, how to help your student navigate Google Classroom, and then ultimately, if you are interested as a parent, just reach out to your guidance counselor and say, I would like to start receiving summary updates, and your guidance counselor will help you get that set up. With that said, we're going to stop our recording.